micro-business in
Oh,
Ilkley,
lovely.
so not a million
Yeah.
miles from called Attic Women's Wear.
Fabulous. Yeah, really nice.
Actually, it's so last season, or maybe even 2 seasons ago, but it's the perfect red for what we do on micro-business.
It's just the right amount of like, I'm sassy and want to be seen, but also like business sophisticated. So yeah, I'm here for it.
Thank you, Camilla.
No problem at all.
So, I keep saying so.
So.
I'm here with Camilla Ainsworth, and I'm going to let Camilla introduce herself to you.
I'm Camilla Ainsworth. I'm the founder of Milk Plus, which is a dairy-free grab-and-go nut milk brand.
And tell us a little bit about how it all started. You did speak downstairs in the auditorium earlier, and I was listening to some of it. It's very busy here today on Micro-Biz Matters Day at EKM. So tell us how you got started with Milk Plus.
Yeah, so I was working on a dairy farm in rural Australia. So I was doing my farm work, which is what's required for you to get your second year visa. So I was working on the cow farm, being a true northerner, gorging myself on freebies, and eventually that manifested into a rash over my arms. And I went to see a specialist, and they said that it's likely to be correlated with dairy. So I tried to cut dairy out and realised that there weren't many grab-and-go flavoured options that had, all of the options had lacklustre branding. So there was this correlation with products being healthy and them being green. I wanted something with some personality because obviously I was going down this dairy-free path and I didn't want it to be boring. And when I looked at the ingredients list of the products, they all had long words that I couldn't pronounce. So I thought, you know what, why not create something? So I've always been of the mindset, if something doesn't exist, then why not create it? So that's exactly what I did. Went home from Australia. Before that, I called my parents to tell them my grand idea, and both of them just started laughing. And obviously the first question was, how do you milk a nut? Which is, it's just all a bit ridiculous. It sounds funny. So I came back and was determined to obviously prove people wrong. But at the same time, I'd done my farm work, so I was intending to go back to Australia. But I started delivering it to local people alongside my full-time job, so at weekends and weeknights. And then I applied for the apprentice and got on there and used the platform to basically just promote the business and take the business to the next level. So that's me in a nutshell. Pardon the pun, couldn't resist.
So you started out, when you first started Milk Plus, did you do the research or did you get somebody that was a specialist in milking nuts?
Yes, well, yeah. So that's an interesting question. So I knew that there was a market for it because I was looking for it myself, and I think that that's always really important when starting a business, to be the target customer. But I actually just started experimenting myself, went on loads of recipe forums, and the first ones I made were disgusting, and it was kind of refining it from there. But I wanted to do it all myself because obviously my budget, I'd already blown it. I'd spent the £46 I budgeted on the nuts, so I couldn't afford to ask anyone how to do it. So it was a case of using resources, the internet, like recipe books and things, and eventually coming up with a recipe that worked and that went with different flavours. I had all sorts of flavours at the start. Had chocolate orange cashew, salted caramel pecan, Madagascar vanilla almond. There was loads of things, and I tried to jazz them up as much as possible. It's fancy almond milk, fancy cashew milk, but I was all very self-taught. Even all of the business strategies and things, self-taught. I've never paid anyone to kind of help or anything like that.
So I was going to ask the question, you rang your parents from Australia and said, this is what I'm going to do. Are your parents self-employed?
So my dad's self-employed, my mum's employed, so it's an interesting split. And obviously now I work for myself, but my sister's employed, so it's like a split down the middle. And those two would hate to be self-employed, and I would hate to work for someone else now. So I do think the fact that my dad works for himself, I think that's maybe a subconscious driver in me going into it myself, but he didn't think it was a rubbish idea, and he won't be afraid to say that. But I think it's just because obviously I was young, naive, didn't really know where I was going to go with it. It was a bit of an accident really going into the business, but everything since has been very planned out and thought out. But how I actually got into it and how I got into business was just based started making a product for myself and then realised that there was a demand for it from other people.
And what age were you, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm quite happy to admit that at my age, I'm 52.
Looking fab.
But what age were you when you...
Yeah, started, so I was 21, and so I'd come back, because I graduated actually when I was 20, which was quite young because my birthday's late in the year, so I graduated when I was, or was I 19? Really young anyway, and then went to Australia for the year and then came back, and that's when I started the business. But officially, Milk Plus, we've had a retail ready product for a year, so all the kind of doing it at home, they were test sales to kind of test the market for this product. So we've had this product a year, so we've officially been running for a year. But obviously I've had all the backstory and all of the milking nuts myself at 3 a.m. So yeah, it's been a journey when I look back. The only time I get to reflect is when I speak to people about it, so I actually really enjoy it, because it gives me a chance to actually go back to the start. So it's really good to talk about that bit.
And what size of a team are you now with, now you're at the stage that you're at? You obviously started out on your own with the nuts, doing all the stuff self-taught, which, you know, that's real micro business.
Yeah,
just like,
definitely.
And then I think people often feel that, you know, you've got this brand and it's beautifully bottled and it's all, you know, retail ready and everything. Yeah. Oh my goodness, she must have a massive factory, she must have a team of 20.
Yeah.
How did the scaling up of it take place? And at what stage did you introduce staff or even associates? Because it's not always necessary that you have to take on the staff.
Absolutely
you can
not.
take on the
I think
outsourcing.
Yeah. So for me, I no longer make it myself, so I had to work really closely with my supplier, because obviously it's not a white label product at all. I had to basically replicate my exact recipe, so it's bespoke, and give it to them to replicate on a larger scale. So I don't have that element in that I make it myself, so I don't have to employ people to make it, which is quite good. So obviously all of that goes into the price of the bottle, so we're charged for that. So that's a separate entity. And then there's me full-time, I've got another guy full-time, and then someone that works like 3 days a week, and that's like sales, that side of things with retailers. And then for the online side of things, I pay people as and when I need them. So I've got a PR team, so I've got a girl on that, and then a designer and an illustrator. So I've got like 5 or 6 people in the Milk Plus team. So when we had our Christmas party, there was 6 of us. So I think, you know, that's a really good number for being going a year, and they get paid for what they do. They're incentivized. So full-time wise, we've got 3, which I think, you know, is absolutely ample. I don't want to be one of these companies that judges how big they are from how many people they employ, which is an easy trap to fall into. It's like, well, how many people do you employ? It's like, that's not what it's about. Because if you're selling to 645 stores, you know, you've got an online customer, you've got you know, the online retailer, you've got the NHS. You don't need, because you're cutting out the consumer there in a way, so you don't need people to work on things. To be fair, like at the minute, I do feel like I am doing everything. So in 2020, I would probably bring on like another person, but again, on a kind of flexi working structure, because I think to employ someone full time is huge and massively costly. So you've got to think, what can they bring into the business? They've got to break even at least, and then bring in more business. So the way that we're working at the minute is lean, but it works, and it means that our bottom line is going to be greater than these businesses that go out and hire 10 people. When we raise investment, we're going to raise investment this year, I probably will have the funds to employ more people, but for now, I feel like getting profit and putting that back into the business is more important.
And I think it's really, I do think it is important, because I think as you say, people either, they look at the turnover. Well, turnover is vanity, profit is sanity. Don't look at your turnover, look at the actual profit that you're making. And it's like you're saying about staff members. And there are so many freelancers out there that actually you can work with freelancers that you need as and when. So you can build a team, but they don't have to be employed.
Yeah.
And I get there are certain aspects that you need people employed in the business, but I think it's something that people don't necessarily look at in the way that they can do.
Exactly.
to sort of scale a brand and to grow the business.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and it's been lovely to talk to you.
Yes,
and
you
to
too.
meet you. And thank you very much for supporting Microbiz.
No problem at all. I love to fly the flag for it because it is so easy for people to just sensationalize the big companies, and it's like the smaller scale ones are the ones with the most potential anyway, and they're the ones that are doing business smarter, I think. So thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
And congratulations on a fab event.
Thank you. Oh, well, that's down to...
but the day itself is amazing.
Yeah, it's down to the
EKM team, the dream team.
They've been fab, they really have.
Thank